Extra. He's one of the most popular jockeys in Ellis Park history. He's also one of the oldest. In an interview with R.A. Cowboy Jones from the county fairs, a different kind of racetrack, a different kind of race, the sport of mud racing. And tri-state children with disabilities find a place in the sports arena. This is Sports Extra for Saturday, August 1st, 1998. Into the month of August, the countdown for high school football has officially begun, now 3 weeks away. In the meantime, horse racing, mud racing, and a great story out of Ohio County, Kentucky make up some of the top local sports stories making sports news in the tri-state. I'm Darren Smith. We begin with Cowboy Jones.
I'm from a racehorse family. I come from a family of school teachers. And so I would go to this horse trainer. And I'd go out there and ride some of his horses, and he let me ride them. And so one day, a railroad man came by. His name was A.G. Lowry, and he, and Hob Fleener said, Cowboy, or I wasn't a cowboy then, he said, Jones, there's a fellow that's got a exercise saddle he'll let you borrow. So I bought his exercise saddle, and I was getting on these quarter horses, and I didn't know that you could lean down on their neck. So I'd try to stand up and balance myself, and invariably I'd fall off 3 or 4 times a day, and I thought, something's not right. I'm not doing something right. But the railroad man came by one day, and he showed me, and they had a little city park, had a quarter-mile racetrack around it, and he showed me how to gallop. In fact, he bought a thoroughbred specifically to teach me how to gallop and to ride. And I started out in the county fairs. The first fair I rode at was in Vienna, Illinois. And I rode the fairs in 1958, and then I went to the races in 1959. And I started my racing career on a recognized racetrack at Park Jefferson, South Dakota.
When did the name Cowboy? How did you get the name Cowboy Jones?
Well, I wasn't always cowboy. In fact, I was on television here on, I think it was Channel 50, and Chick Anderson was the announcer. And that was in 1962. And he had like the top 5 riders on television. I was about 5th on the list. And so when it was my night to be on television, he looked me up and down. I've always been a tall, skinny boy. In fact, I was taller than I am now. And he said, Jones, what would you like to do when you have to finish riding? And I said, well, you know, I'd really like to demonstrate electric typewriters because I was a speedball typist in high school, or go to school and take up IBM machines. But I said, you know, really, I always want to be a cowboy. And that was all there was to it. Well, the next year, I was leading rider, which is 1963 here at Ellis Park. And I won a race opening day, and he said, R.A. Cowboy Jones. Well, I didn't hear this. So the next day, I won a couple of races, and R.A. Cowboy, so people started calling me Cowboy Jones. So then, on about Thursday, after about 4 days, and I was winning races on a regular basis, I was listening. And he'd say in the winner's circle, the winner, R.A. Cowboy Jones. So I saw him one day in a jock's room on a Saturday, and I said, Chick, where in the heck did you come up with this Cowboy Jones bit? He said, well, you sit on television, you always want to be a cowboy, and it just stuck with me like wallpaper. And the only difference between me and a real cowboy, they come from out west, and I come from Walgreens.
Where else have you raced? I know Ellis Park, they're very familiar with you here. I know you've had some success over at Bluegrass Rounds in Toledo.
Yes, I was the winningest rider ever at a racetrack in Louisville called Miles Park Racetrack. Also, I was the winningest rider at a racetrack in Ohio called Raceway Park. And I broke every record that Larry Snyder ever set at Raceway Park in Toledo, Ohio. And that was called, as Miles Park was called, a bull ring, which is any racetrack with a circumference of less than a mile. And I had a great deal of success at Sportsman's Park in Chicago and Hawthorne, and a couple of years in 74 and 5 at Hot Springs, Arkansas, at their Elkhorn Park.
Is there a favorite track that you particularly care for?
We're at it right here.
Ellis Park?
This is the place.
What separates Ellis from the others?
Oh, I guess because I started riding here in 1959, and I had a lot of success. You always like a place that you do well at. And I've always done well here, and everybody in town knows me, and I've met, just people come in every year, and I meet them here at Ellis Park. In fact, they even have a sign that the racetrack put up in 1963. It's got R.A. Jones, home of Cowboy Jones, or Ellis Park, home of R.A. Cowboy Jones, something like that. It's hanging up in the jock's room, and it's been there for 30-something years. And They said as long as there's an Ellis Park, the sign will be hanging up. So they'll probably be hanging up longer than I am.
What would your advice be to an apprentice jockey, a young jockey just starting out?
Work hard. Work hard and try hard. You're going to have disappointments. You're going to have your ups and downs. And if you can get by without breaking any bones, that's really a plus, because I've had 67 broken bones.
Wow.
And but you just go out every morning, be on time, be prompt, and work. And meet as many people as you can. Say hello to everybody, and even if they don't want to speak back to you, eventually they're going to say hello to you. But the more people you meet, the more people you know, the word of mouth will spread. They'll say, well, this boy works hard. He doesn't know a whole lot right now, but give him enough time and he'll pick it up. And I never give riders advice, because they'll pick it up themselves. And the only advice I can tell them is hard work and being prompt and on time. That'll just about get you there.
You had another big win last week here at Ellis Park.
Yes.
Yeah, that's some kind of...
Every time I win one, it's a big win. Just like I tell everybody, you know, you better watch me ride a winner. I say, because it could be my last. I never know when the next one's going to be.
What was that like? It's like so many decades now in a row you've ridden a winner out here.
I've ridden a winner in 5 decades.